Hey, welcome back to The Average Kitchen. We have a full island worth of food processors here today, from a very budget-friendly, lower-end food processor to a mid-range food processor to, in my opinion, the Cadillac, the big boy, the Breville. I always want to say Breville. I get chirped all the time on that. So this is the Black+Decker. Jamie will put the model number somewhere in the description. $45 Canadian on Amazon. It has a shredding and slicing blade, and it also has your normal chopping blade. Then you jump into the Ninja food processor. Has this very gnarly, intimidating looking blade that could do some serious damage if you're trying to play catch with somebody. It also comes with this dough blade, which we're not going to talk about today much, but for making pizza doughs, cookie batter, so on and so forth. And as well has a chopping and shredding blade as well. Price point on that, $134 Canadian, Amazon. This is the Breville. Came with the kit that I bought, came with this amazing box of attachments, as you can see here. This is a whisk. So if you're a big baker, could be really handy. I've never used it. This, in my opinion, is the best feature. You'll have to excuse the water stains. The best feature of the entire kit is the adjustable blade. Fantastic. I use this all the time. It also has a dough blade, a very giant chopping blade, a smaller chopping blade because this has a smaller reservoir inside as well, a French fry cutter, julienne, and reverse shredder, and then a small cleaning brush. And you'll see if I open up this up, why it had the two different size blades is you could use this smaller container within the bigger container, although it's not without flaw, and I'll talk about that after as well. So what I'm gonna do today is 3 very simple tests. We're gonna do some carrots, some cucumber, and some cabbage. We'll chop and shred and slice and show you how each one performs. I'm gonna make a little bit of space here because I'm feeling a little overwhelmed with the amount of stuff here. And then we'll start running through some tests. So first we're gonna start with the Breville. I work so hard to not say Breville. So we're gonna grab our shaft and throw our shaft on, and I really wanna sort of highlight and show you how cool this adjustable blade is and do a few different thickness tests with a cucumber to show you how it works. We'll put that blade on there. So we'll turn the power on, we'll hit start, and let's just give it a couple to see how thin they are. So I'm gonna say I made it too thin. So let's open that up a little bit. So epic fail there. Take 2. Pop that off, and you could see that that is like so thin, probably even too thin for, I mean, depending on how you like your bread and butter pickles, I guess maybe it'd be okay for bread and butter pickles, but that is thin. And now we're into probably what I would say would be the thickness that you would want bread and butter pickles. And now let's just open this way up, and I'm gonna use my little plunger here. And that made very quick work of that. So that was pretty much the largest setting. You know, you're going over to, for a pool party, you're making a veggie tray. That is a fantastic, fantastic thickness. My favorite feature that I use the most frequently is this adjustable blade. To be able to just adjust that blade very quickly and get those different results is pretty exciting in my opinion. All right, so now we're on to the Ninja. I put the shaft into the bowl. I'm gonna put my slicing blade on and my lid, and I've got my spout. I'm gonna turn the power on, disc. So we're gonna open up the Black+Decker. So they're on a bit of an angle only because when I was pushing down, it turned. It certainly sliced them. It's not Breville nice. So the Ninja, more consistent than the Black+Decker. Nice slice of cucumber there. Kind of almost picnic worthy, almost. Okay, so now we're gonna try shredding carrots. I just wanted to mention one thing. On the Breville shredding blade, it gives you the option for coarse shredder and fine shredder. So we'll just do coarse shredding. So let's now have a look at the results. Very, very small residual piece here on the top. Very small. Very consistent. No chunks in here that I could see. Very, very consistent. Ninja, small chunk left on top. Not too bad. So I would say a little bit finer of a shred. Now, in fairness, with the Breville, we did coarse shredding. Black+Decker left quite a large piece. Half a carrot. Shredding appears to be a little bit inconsistent, but not too bad. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just scoop out this carrot, grab another carrot, and just try the fine side of the shredding blade to see if it's more similar to the other two. Little chunk residual carrot, definitely quite a bit finer. In fairness, you got 3 different manufacturers of food processors, and obviously you have different thicknesses of carrot. I think they're all fine. I think they all did a good job. So now we have the chopping blades in each of the 3 food processors. I've chunked up some raw carrot, and we're gonna give it roughly 5 seconds per and see what the results end up looking like. All right, so let's have a look at the results now. Okay, so that's the Ninja results. Sorry, the Breville results. Definitely do not want to reach in and touch this thing. So I can tell just by looking at this, a lot more inconsistent, a lot more coarse. The old trusty Black+Decker. In my opinion, by far, the Breville gives you the most consistent chop. It's the finest of the 3, but maybe that's not what you're after. So you would have to adjust your time accordingly. We're trying to be as fair to all of these products as possible. We're not associated or affiliated to any of them. So the Ninja is definitely chunkier, probably more consistent with the Black+Decker. All right, so lastly here, we're going to shred some cabbage. So kind of a bonus with the Breville, even though the feed tube here is small, the opening here is quite large, and there's actually a safety switch in this aspect here that once this plunger goes down, it turns on the blade. So I'm gonna actually take advantage of that right now in this case here and see if I can do this all at once. Power on, start. Let's review the results. I don't think any of them did awesome, to be honest. The Breville, definitely some residual cabbage left over. Some kind of larger pieces, actually. So I did put it on fine shred, and it certainly is finely shred. Pretty consistent across the board. That's pretty much all of it there. 1 or 2 bigger pieces there, but for the most part, very, very finely shred. The Ninja also left some residual pieces, as you can see here. So I would say very inconsistent in this one. So you can see sort of some bigger pieces here and there. And the old $44 Black+Decker. Major problem with this one that I don't like is this very, very narrow spot here that everything tends to get jammed up inside. Massive pain to clean. Some pieces left over, but not bad. And it appears to be pretty consistent here. Very consistent, actually. So I stand corrected. I said that I didn't think any of them did an awesome job. I think that in this case here, this would be too fine for a coleslaw, but it does have a coarse setting, so maybe we could have used that. Let's give a final wrap up on this video and talk about these different pieces of equipment that we have here. We'll start again on my left with the Black+Decker, $45. I think it actually did a really good job. I think for the price point, for somebody who's just starting out or somebody who is on a very tight budget, who maybe doesn't have a lot of space and is not something that they would use very often, I think this is great. My biggest beef with this is I despise the fact that this shaft has to go underneath here like this. I don't know why it bugs me. Like, no, I've never seen a food processor like it. And the other point, Jamie just mentioned, the cleaning. This groove in here, virtually, well, it's not impossible, but you could see It's impossible to dry. You can see there's still moisture in there. Very, very, very difficult to clean. So those are my negative points on the Black+Decker. The Ninja, very, very impressed. Price point, $134. The dough blade, which we didn't use, is there. What we call the gnarly blade, everything works well. The downside for it for me is this. I don't like all the moisture that gets inside of the handle here. That's a big negative for me. And I don't really like how small the chute is. But other than that, it performed well and was very, very good for the price point. So lastly, the big boy, the Breville. I've done a review on this before. If you haven't watched it, check it out. It's very, very comprehensive, way more tests than what we had done today. Very, very consistent. Obviously comes with all the blades. I put them away. I talked about those before. This also has moisture in the handle, which drives me crazy. You can see, I don't know why they do that. I think over time it's going to cause some issues. What did I say before? $570, I think, Jamie? Very, very expensive, way more than any of these. So how I would sort of categorize this is, if you're a home chef and you love to cook and you would use a food processor often like I would, this is definitely something that you're going to buy and should last you a lifetime. If you're kind of a weekend warrior, like to cook, but maybe don't do it on a daily basis, maybe this is your go-to. Great price point and should, again, last you a lifetime. And if you're somebody who very, very rarely uses a food processor but may need one in a pinch, maybe this is all you need. 45 bucks, pretty cheap. Leave us a comment. Leave us a comment about a food processor that you have that maybe we should get and run it through a course of tests.